Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So raise your hand if it's after midnight. Raise your hand if there are fires everywhere and you're going to have to stay home again to protect your lungs. Raise your hand if you had a horrific day that was a stressful nightmare and you had to apologize to God all day long for the nonsense in your head. Raise your hand if you still chose to eat right anyway. Thank you. That's a lot of hand raising. Oh my gosh, people. Darn it. Darn it. Like, the stress got to me today. I was still lovely for my kids, I will say that. But not good. Seriously, not good. So let's go back to our self-care September and weigh in on how we cared. So today, day 9, if you're with us, and even if you're not, don't worry, it's another good intention. It was avoid saying I ought to or I should to yourself. I did not say I ought to or I should because I said far worse than that, okay? I was going insane with put downs, impatience, using my first language, which was cussing. Okay, like crazed. I was crazed. I had no boundaries, hence the reason I'm up past midnight. And I just need this day to be over. But I wanted to check in with you guys because we are doing Self-Care September and you're my community. So here I am checking in. It was just one of those days, darn it, where like everything was too much and I just didn't feel successful with anything. And I'm behind the 8 ball on a bunch of stuff suddenly. Like, it only takes a minute. I clear my email and the next day there's 55 messages by 7 in the morning. And that's just like in my school email. Forget the nonsense of all the silly other emails that I can't even get to, right? Why do people have access to my email so much? I just feel hijacked every dang second. I can't even stand it. It is burdensome, right? It feels like all of this, even though it's virtual, is all upon me. And then because I'm teaching virtually all day and have to respond to parents and everything all night, I'm constantly stuck in this barrage. Even though it's virtual, I still feel buried in it. And today was just too much. So tomorrow, day 10, the intention for tomorrow, trying to stay a day ahead, is to actually give yourself permission to say no to requests from others. To give yourself permission to say no to requests from others. I pray for the courage for that to any degree that I can. I'm in a situation right now. I mean, it is stuff outside of me, but I'm affected by it. So yesterday in my inbox was that my cousin Kathy had heat stroke and that her organs were shutting down. I have no more information on that because of the COVID, because of that family just trying to deal and survive, okay, that part of the family. Today, the unexpected inbox news was that my Northern California family, literally my sister, my nephew, my niece, their family, had to be evacuated because of fires in Humboldt County, which is in Northern California. At the same time, I was driving home from school, literally, and saw the smoke and fire starting to come up over the ridge near my school, which told me that I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe there tomorrow. I came home. Luckily, our tiny little area is not as bad, though there's certainly ash and smoke, and staying inside will be in my best interest. But I have just a lot of things that are due at school. It's constant, right? The schedule continues despite technology that isn't reliable, despite children who are trying to find their way, parents who are trying to decipher things, districts trying to make decisions about kids coming back on campus already, unknowns about the COVID. Like there's so many things. And I know it goes back to controlling whatever we can So give yourself permission to say no to requests from others. I have to be a little less generous of heart. I always have a sense that I have to be the ambassador and affirm people and give, likes and feedback and far more than that's required of me. And it's taxing, right? To respond to people who are lovingly texting me at 11:30, 12:30. It's like, why am I even up right now? I'm up in desperation of trying to meet the needs of people for tomorrow, let alone responding to people now. And yet I don't have that boundary. God, today was just one of those days. Some days I can be a superhero. Some days I just want to crawl into bed and cry. With the fires, with health issues in family, with not being safe for family, with my own circumstances. Today is just too much and I need it to end. But there's some things I've got to do to allow myself to provide for people for tomorrow and allow them to be successful, let alone me faltering. So I praise God for the courage to be eating right. My body is just kind of going, what is up, Jules? I don't know, people, when I'll find balance regarding sleep. I don't know. I know it's my next level up to allow my body to recover and be its best. I'm not there. So, okay. Again, if you were joining us today, sometimes I'm much more joyful and happy and positive. I'm fresh out. But today was to avoid I ought to, I should. And tomorrow, day 10, is give yourself permission to say no to requests from others. It is a boundary I welcome. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm okay. Whatever that looks like, I'm okay. Prayers all around for this inferno of a planet at this moment, if that's your truth. For unexpected snowstorms, if that's your truth. Going from 95 degrees to 26 degrees overnight. Super interesting. I'm glad climate change doesn't exist. Humans absolutely affected climate change in the last 150 years. Okay, from the Industrial Revolution on, there is no doubt that the things we did as humans have affected the planet. Would some of this cycle have existed naturally? Probably. But did we increase it? Did we intensify it? Did we open a hole in our ozone layer because of our, CO2 emissions and everything else? Absolutely. The consequence as humans is to love one another, to make better choices, and see what we can do about that. But all of this insanity, is very interesting to me. And I'm trying to be responsible. And I have a lot of people under my care. And I want to be what I can for them, but I can't do that unless I care for myself. So praise God, I am eating right. And I will accept that as being enough for today, which is technically yesterday, since it's already 12:15. All right, my friends, as always, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe if you're a prayer person, for my cousin Ann, for my evacuated family in Northern California, for my asthma, for my animals, and providing for these people, and for my students that I'm trying to do my best by. I welcome all of that. As always, let me support you in the comments below. And until we talk again, my friends, best of all, as I will also accept, know that you're blessed.